Be enumerate means you don't know numbers. We get numbers thrown around to us all the time. And we kind of get dulled to it. We kind of get numb to it. It doesn't mean anything to us. The Senate raises a debt ceiling to $1.9 trillion. What does that mean? Oh, $9 trillion, billion, million, trillion, they're just add a different letter on the front of it. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to help you understand what a trillion is so that you're not so innumerate. 1,000,000 seconds. If you count off 1,000,000 seconds, you know how long it'll take you? 11 days. 1,000,000,000 seconds. 31 years. How about a trillion? 300 centuries. 30,000 years. It's hard to kind of grasp what's a billion, trillion, what's that look like, what's a million look like. So I got a little graphic I ran into. There's a $100 bill. So if we're going to take those $100 bills and we put them in a stack a little less than an inch, it's $10,000. What's $1 million look like? Well, here's a pile of $10 or $100 bills that's $1 million. Those $100 bills that are $1 million you could put in a briefcase and walk around. Nobody know you had $1 million you're carrying around. 100 million. Pallet 3 feet by 3 feet by 3 feet high, stacked up with $100 bills. $1 billion. How about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 of those pallets adds up to $1 billion. Okay, now let's jump to the next level. Oh, we're just talking trillions now, no big deal. What's it look like? Ladies and gentlemen, I give you $1 trillion. There's the guy right down there in the corner. 6 feet high, football field wide, football field long, 2 pallets high. $1 trillion. The year I clipped this out of the newspaper where they raised the federal budget deficit. Now, understand this, guys. The federal budget deficit, meaning we are going to spend this much more than we take in. That's 2 of those, one on top of the other. Does anybody know what the national debt is about now? How much money we owe? You know? Right about 20 trillion. You know what that is? 20 of those, 6 feet high. How many feet is that? 6 feet high, 20 of them. That is 120 feet thick. It's above the light poles, I bet, down there in the stadium. That's how much we owe. We owe $20 trillion. We pay $400 billion every year on the interest on the national debt. $400 billion goes out the door, and what do we get for it? Do we fix any roads? We build any new dams? We do any new infrastructure for our electrical system? Nothing. It just goes out the window. We would have that money that we could put into doing stuff if we weren't paying interest on the debt. And by the way, 10 years ago, the debt was half of what it is now, approximately. We've doubled the debt. It took us our whole existence to get to $10 trillion in debt, and in 10 years, we doubled it and made it $20 trillion in debt. How many of those do we owe? 20 of those. How many more of those are we going to spend than we take in this year? 2 of them. 2 more we're going to add to that stack.